Dr. Otten and Joshua Judy back here with Our Quadruple Aim. We're going to start with a multiple choice question. Healthcare in the United States is...
Can I say shit show?
Don't start there. You can, but that's letter D.
Affordable. I don't think so.
Easy to navigate.
Not in this world. Transparent.
Or D, a complete shit show. such as our delivery with that multiple choice question.
Welcome to the Searching for Our Quadruple Aim podcast with authors Todd Richmond Otten, medical doctor, and Joshua Jeremy Judy, patient, as inspired by their book Ripple of Change. Available at ourquadrupleaim.com or Amazon and Google Play. And now, a look into some of what's wrong.
Good morning, Dr. Dysfunction. So let's see here, is it Tom?
It's actually Todd.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say, Toad. So, what brings you in today?
Well, I had a soccer game last night, and I'm really tired, sore. You know, it's not as easy to get up the next day after you.
If I may, real quick, I see you didn't fill out the e-check-in. If you don't mind doing that next time before you come in, it'd make my job a ton easier. Yeah, thanks.
Should I do it now?
No, that's okay. I'll do it. Normally I'd have the nurse practitioner maybe help with that, but we're a little short-staffed right now.
Gotcha. That seems to be happening a lot these days.
Unfortunately. So, hey, before we get into your symptoms, administration's looking to cut some cost right now, and so we're doing a little bit of a pilot, you could say, self-service. So if you don't mind, just kind of stick your arm in the cuff there and read me back those two numbers, and I'll update your chart.
The two numbers here?
No, actually the two numbers, once you put your arm in there.
Does it matter which arm?
Yeah, why don't you pick that one? That'll work.
Like this?
Yeah, that's close enough.
And then you said hit the button, is that right?
Yeah, start button there. Thanks. I see here that we did a bit of a medication switch last time for you. How's that working?
Okay, I guess. Seems to be going all right.
Good. I see. So, yeah, you were starting to tell me about your symptoms. Why don't you go ahead and keep going?
Sure. So, yeah, it's, soccer, not as easy to get up the next day, tired, sore,
I see.
Muscles kind of hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my teammates are yelling at me in the game. One's telling me to do this, one's telling me to do that.
Sure, yeah.
So, yeah, and with, you know, it's knee surgeries previously, it's just becoming more difficult.
Yeah, how long ago was that knee surgery?
Which one, I guess?
Oh, most recently, fine.
2012, I believe it was.
Oh, I think I see it buried here in the chart. Yeah. Oh, continue. Thanks.
Is this supposed to say error here? Or is this E4? Is that one of the numbers?
Oh, sometimes that happens. Why don't you just do it again while I'm updating the notes here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, what was I talking about? So soccer.
You have that number yet?
Looks like maybe the battery's dead.
That's too bad. Well, we'll get it next time. Why don't we just skip ahead? You were telling me about your symptoms. You're not really exercising enough these days, so you're feeling a bit fatigued. Sounds a little bit like stress, maybe?
Yeah, all my teammates played in college, and, you know, I was a sprinter, so I used to be in pretty good shape, but not anymore. So one guy's yelling at me to do this, one guy's yelling at me to do that. The other guy's asking me why I'm so out of shape, and, you know,
yeah,
sleep is good. And
really probably could pick up on the exercise a little bit. So it sounds like maybe you're just dealing with a little bit of stress in your life. And I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and order you some SSRIs. Those usually help take the edge off. And maybe some sleeping pills for at night, make you wake up feeling quite rested. So, yeah, was there anything else? I got 27 other patients I got to see today. You're not my only one.
Yeah, I guess I have a lot of questions. Like, what's an SSRI?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll have my medical assistant come in and kind of explain that. Oh, and if you could, before you leave, could you swing by the front desk and sign some of the forms they have for you? There was a few missed. Anyways, I got to run. Thanks.
Okay.
That is dysfunction.
I'm Dr. Todd Otten.
I'm Joshua Judy, and we're here to introduce our new book, Ripple of Change.
Ripple of Change is an unfiltered journey through burnout and the existing dysfunction in healthcare. While ripping the bandaid off, both doctor and patient are healed. And introduce Our Quadruple Aim. Our Quadruple Aim is an instant conversation starter that is intended for everyone. The 4 principles offer a bare bones approach to evaluate, reimagine, and challenge the status quo in healthcare and beyond. We hope to inspire and empower a multitude of positive disruptors and turn our ripples into waves of lasting change.
So, Dr. Otten, what is our Quadruple Aim?
I'm glad you asked, Joshua. Our Quadruple Aim is patient experience, quality care, lower costs, and provider wellness. These 4 components are the backbone of our Quadruple Aim. Brilliant in its simplicity, easy to understand, and can be extrapolated just about anywhere, quite honestly. But let's take a step back. In 2006, the IHI, Institute for Healthcare Improvement, presented the Triple Aim. In its basic format, it parallels the first 3 components of our Quadruple Aim. However, it didn't include that provider wellness component. And over time, the clerical burdens and the additional workload put on healthcare providers created a lot of problems. Burnout, moral injury, suicide, just to name a few. But in 2014, Dr. Bodenheimer and Dr. Sinsky suggested in the Annals of Family Medicine to include a 4th component, the well-being of the provider, or provider wellness as we simply put it. I thought this was absolutely brilliant, having treated patients for over a decade at that point. I could see all the issues that were associated with the clerical burdens and what have you. I was an early adopter of the Quadruple Aim. For a long time, I was a committee of 1, constantly bringing up provider wellness, whether it was in the office, whether it was at medical executive committee meetings, or even at the ACO level. But over time, we definitely got some traction, and you could see the improvement that occurred when the provider wellness was considered, regardless of the level. Mm-hmm. However, one of the things I noticed is that you get fits and starts with the Quadruple Aim. You get some traction, something would happen, there'd be a new initiative, and energy would go in a different direction. And that was unfortunate because that would lead to reduced engagement, which is very problematic in healthcare. So as a result of that, we decided to include our in front of it. And the reason for that is also very simple. We're all in this game together. We are all in the same healthcare boat. We need everyone to decide where they can contribute to make this better. That's really the main reason we put the our in front of it. And really, it has a lot of similarities with what is now the Quintuple Aim, which is the focus on healthcare equality. So they're not necessarily synonymous, but I would make the case that our Quadruple Aim and the Quintuple Aim are really very close.
That makes an incredible amount of sense, Dr. Otten. We all need to own this system. We all have to use this system, and it's got to work for everyone.
100%. Joshua, I'd like to ask you, so how did you get involved with writing Ripple of Change?
You're telling me you don't know? We wrote a book together.
Fair enough.
In all seriousness, I was struggling with my health, did not know what to do. Dr. Otten and I had tried many different things. Nothing was working, and we knew we needed to do something drastically different, and he told me to just write. And here we are with a 518-page book that we think is going to transform healthcare. It's going to transform lives, and we're very excited about it.
Absolutely. And we actually had to cut some stuff out of the book. So even though that it's over 500 pages, there's a lot of valuable information in there. And frankly, the feedback to this point is it's been a pretty easy read. But to go back to the question to Josh, when he was struggling, it was a result of a medication I had written for him. He had horrible side effects from it, devastating, in fact. And I knew he had an issue, and I knew I couldn't fix it. And the problem was we were running into obstacle after obstacle, barrier after barrier, whether it was getting in to see a specialist or prior authorizations or what have you. Super frustrating. So I decided to take another approach and ask him to just write, and here we are.
So who is our target audience for this book?
Wow, that's an evolution in and of itself to answer that question.
It's a little loaded, Todd.
Fair enough. So going back in time, when I started writing the book, I wrote about my journey through burnout, which you can read about in Chapter 6, Anatomy of Burnout. There's also a poem in the book, Medicine is a World of Gray. And really those were the two infancy, they're the two, not infancy, but the two starting points when the book was in its infancy, rather. It was a healing process for me at the beginning, coming out of burnout. And early on, I had some conversations with some colleagues, including Dyke Drummond, who's out on the West Coast, a champion for preventing physician burnout. And he asked me, who's the target audience? And I made the case that it was physicians and administrators. And he took the other side of the fence, playing devil's advocate a little bit, saying that it couldn't be both. And I said, well, why not? That's part of the problem. We need everyone on the same page. If the port side of the boat's rowing forward and the starboard side of the boat's rowing in reverse, you're really just going in circles, which that's not ideal.
I think I can see that, yeah.
All right. So as we went forward and Josh got involved with the instructions to just write, the target audience expanded dramatically. And currently the target audience is?
It's everyone. It's all of you out there.
Absolutely. It's the American healthcare consumer. The book's written in such a way that anybody can read it. It's not overly burdensome. It's an easy read from what we've been told. And of course, perhaps we're a little biased, I suppose. But the reality is we wrote this for each and every person that's out there because we need a multitude of positive disruptors to improve the healthcare system in the United States.
100%. We wanted you to take this book, pick it up, and be able to go and run. So what have people been telling you about the book?
A lot of incredible things, quite frankly. I was at a soccer game last night, and one of my colleagues who, ironically, I was playing against, and we lost. So that part of it was a bummer, but it is what it is. Got some good exercise, didn't get hurt. Anyways, he made the point, he's not in healthcare, and he quickly picked up on the fact that the book is applicable to what he does for work. And that was amazing. I was thrilled to hear that from him because the reality is our quadruple aim doesn't just have to be for healthcare. There are many examples in the book where it's extrapolated to teaching, architecture, soccer coaching, all kinds of stuff. Hospitality, for sure.
Veterinary medicine. I mean, it's every industry can take something away from this.
So it was music to my ears to be hearing that from one of my colleagues regarding the book.
That's really awesome.
Grab your copy today. Ripple of Change is available in hard, soft, and ebook formats. More information at www.ourquadrupleaim.com. Thanks for listening, and let's turn ripples into waves of lasting change. Stay tuned to this podcast as we search for examples of our quadruple aim.